Hey, happy chicken day. And yeah, so I've been gone for a while, as you could probably tell. But, I've just been busy. Today I just want to talk about my experience with being a DM so far. I started a couple months ago and it's been going well so far. I've really enjoyed a lot of aspects about it. It felt like I was never going to get to it because for me, like, whenever I want to try something new, I have to have the drive for it, and I don't always have that for things. But I have been playing as a player for years by now, so I had a gist of what DMing was going to be like, and yeah, I mean I've seen the videos, a lot of I've heard a lot of advice about DMing by now, and it's kind of helped me a little bit, but really, it's all about finding your own way of doing things. And for me, it's improvising but still having like some stuff to like look at during it. So you're not just like going blind. That's like something I don't think I'm quite able to do, but I do want to eventually just get there. Like have as concise as possible notes, and then just go off of that. Like that sounds like the best um, game. What would you call being a DM a game? That's all I could really think about calling it. Now, I did end up leaving a campaign. I was playing as a player in that one. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I have been playing as a player for years now, and after DMing my first session, I just kind of wanted to focus on that. Not to mention, there was nothing wrong with the campaign itself that I left, but the way that DM ran it wasn't really my style. Like, it was very strict on the rules, and after DMing my first session, where I just kind of like went with it, didn't really. Of course, I do follow some of the rules of D&D, but I think part of the fun is just kind of going a little wacky with it, right? Like, of course, don't say yes to everything that your players ask for, but there is a lot of fun in just being like, yeah, go for it. You tie that rope to that javelin and throw it and then pull the other caravan closer to you. Like, that's so fun. That's so cool. Why not let your players do that? And to give an example as to what I couldn't do in that campaign, I couldn't even hit an object with a spell that specifically had to target a creature or something. It was Eldritch Blast, and man, it sounds like such a small thing to a lot of people, but for me, I don't know. Part of the fantasy of playing D&D, right, is like doing cool little things like that isn't just like I attack the monster. Now, the reason why I enjoy DMing and to an extent D&D as a whole is just the improv. The combat, it's fun. It can be. Everything else can be fun. But what I really enjoy is just making something up on the spot, especially with roleplay. So, back in high school, you remember all that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Addiction, all that. I was a theater kid. Not like that big of a theater kid, but like I took theater twice, 2 years in a row. Yeah, but okay. The important part about that is that I really enjoyed the improv then. There was scripted assignments, you would go up there, read a script, or just memorize it, and it felt like I was a robot each time. So I just kind of started going off script very often, and it was either that on purpose or I would just straight up forget and end up doing the same thing anyways. So I just saved myself the trouble, I guess. And yeah, it's really that experience has really shaped me into the person I am, I would say. Something I don't miss is big tables. Holy, It is so bad. Just even something like 4 people was so much because of combat, and in general, even like the roleplay was affected by it. It's why I had such a big distaste for D&D combat at the start, because it was just so long and you have to wait for your turn and just kind of sit there as people were humming and heeing. What was that? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, it was such a dreadful, such a dreadful experience every time. Thankfully, I have now had the experience of being in a smaller group by being the DM and only having 2 players, and that's worked pretty well. And yeah, I mean, it just smaller numbers are better. I don't know how people can run tables of like 6 people. You're insane, or like really good, or both. I mean, there is there really a reason why you can't be both? Talking about combat, I think I've become a combat fiend. Not so much being a player and fighting the monsters and all that. I'm talking about creating a combat encounter and like coming up with the enemies and all that. It's the equivalent of like when you were a kid and you had your Goku figure and your Optimus Prime figure and you just made them fight. That would never happen in an actual movie. But in D&D, you could just say it's happening and just go wild. And I just enjoy visualizing. I have a very active imagination, and I love getting wacky with it. It's so much fun. I never imagined I would get this much enjoyment out of it. At first, I actually wanted to just keep my campaign as like mostly roleplay, some combat here and there, but I found some players that really enjoyed combat, so I've been trying to implement at least like one combat per session, and it's worked out pretty well so far. I've really enjoyed, playing the bad guys and getting blasted. That's actually fun. Some people don't like that. Some people like the bad guys to win and all that. I don't care. I'm fine with playing the villain if it means other people get to enjoy being the hero. Like, it's just, like, they get their fantasy and I get my fantasy of being a big bad wolf or something that just comes over and tries to like wreck everyone, but eventually gets defeated because that's, you don't want to kill your players. Or some DMs do. Some DMs want their players dead. Get out of here. Sorry, my inner finger came out. But yeah, hopefully everything keeps going well with the whole DM thing. I am branching into doing one-shots. I've actually never done one, like, as a player, but I really enjoy doing one as a DM. Especially just, like, making it up on the spot. Like, that's really enjoyable to me. Again, back to the whole improv thing. But yeah, moving forward, I do want to make a Pokemon video. I haven't gotten a chance because, well, I wanted to make a D&D video and then jump into that. But last week I got busy, so I couldn't really do all that. But definitely next week I'll do it. I couldn't do it this week. It would take too long. And I want to get this one out first. But yeah, in conclusion, now it's time for our wrap-up. Let's give it everything we got. Ready? Begin. Artificials, amateurs, all amazing. Analytically, assault enemy things. Broken barriers bounded by the bomb bee. Buildings are broken, basically bombarding. Casually create catastrophes, casually canceling cats. Got their canopies collapsing. Detonate a dime of dang daily doing don't demonstrate don't data on the down low. Eating other editors with every other every another energetic epileptic episode. Elevate, etiquette, furious, fat, fabulous, fantastic. Flurries of funk felt feeding the fanatics. Gift got great gobles gone glorious, getting godly in the gibbous, the glorious, hit 'em high, hella high, historical. Hey,